Yeah. Ashton Johnny on the field, watch him break the mold. Running past defenders like his story's being told. Power moves, smooth strides, carving out his lane. Each step closer to that Heisman, yeah, he's making change. Records fall like leaves in autumn, piling high. Got the nation tuning in, they know this guy can fly. Faster than the lightning, stronger than the storm. Champion in the making, that's his natural form. From the gridiron to glory, every game he's on. Chad T for the Heisman with the hustle strong. Nation on his back, got his eye on the prize. Taking Boise to the top and reaching new heights. From the gridiron to glory, every game he's on. Chad T for the Heisman with the hustle strong. Nation on his back, got his eye on the prize. Taking Boise to the top and they're reaching new heights. Vision like a hawk, he sees it all unfold. Reading every defense, watch the story roll. Yards keep stacking, every play, every drive. Feels like destiny, watching them come alive. Focused on the goal, never losing sight. Grinding for that trophy under Friday night lights. Boise's pride, lifting the whole team up. With the Heisman in his sights, he won't give up. From the gridiron to glory, every game he's on. Chad T for the Heisman with the hustle strong. Nation on his back, got his eye on the prize. Taking Boise to the top and reaching new heights. From the gridiron to glory, every game he's on. Chad T for the Heisman with the hustle strong. Nation on his back, got his eye on the prize. Taking Boise to the top and they're reaching new heights. So here's to the journey, battles, the wins. To Ashton Jaggy where the legend begins. Chasing down the Heisman with heart and drive. For the national title, he's keeping hope alive. Yeah. Ashton Johnny on the field, watch him break the mold. Running past defenders like his story's being told. Power moves, smooth strides, carving out his lane. Each step closer to that Heisman, yeah, he's making change. Records fall like leaves in autumn, piling high. Got the nation tuning in, they know this guy can fly. Faster than the lightning, stronger than the storm. Champion in the making, that's his natural form. From the gridiron to glory, every game he's on. Chad T for the Heisman with the hustle strong. Nation on his back, got his eye on the prize. Taking Boise to the top and reaching new heights. From the gridiron to glory, every game he's on. Chad T for the Heisman with the hustle strong. Nation on his back, got his eye on the prize. Taking Boise to the top and they're reaching new heights. Vision like a hawk, he sees it all unfold. Reading every defense, watch the story roll. Yards keep stacking, every play, every drive. Feels like destiny, watching them come alive. Focused on the goal, never losing sight. Grinding for that trophy under Friday night lights. Boise's pride, lifting the whole team up. With the Heisman in his sights, he won't give up. From the gridiron to glory, every game he's on. Chad T for the Heisman with the hustle strong. Nation on his back, got his eye on the prize. Taking Boise to the top and reaching new heights. From the gridiron to glory, every game he's on. Chad T for the Heisman with the hustle strong. Nation on his back, got his eye on the prize. Taking Boise to the top and they're reaching new heights.
Fight for the soul by the orange and blue. Boys will stand and cheer for you. Fight for institution, our alma mater. Bravely defending BSU. Fight government, sleep for wasting. Success in our maker train. White spark condition,
What's up, Bronco Nation? We are doing another installment of Bronco Nation Live tonight. We're going to cover uh, the Mountain West Conference Championship along with all the other championships that will have any kind of bearing against where we're at in the brackets in the CFP this week. I want to introduce and welcome back my co-host Sam Gillette. He is
What's up, Nick?
Hey, what's up? He is traveling around, so he took some time out tonight, wherever it is that you are, out and about at the hotel.
I'm in Amarillo, Texas tonight.
Sweet. If you could do me a favor and join me on TikTok, Sam. Did you get the?
I got the.
Oh, I see you there. There we go.
There we go.
That should work. All right, we got just a reminder for everyone who's watching. We are streaming from multiple user interfaces. Whatever you guys want to comment or question, we will broadcast live during the show. So we encourage plenty of participation. It's funner that way, and so just thanks for joining us. I'll get it started and just let everybody know who's watching so far. We got Noah Curry. He says hi. Hope you're having a good evening, Noah. And then we have Denise Woods. Too many acronyms. Okay, so let me help you out, Denise. So BNU is Bronco Nation Updates Live. That's the one that you're going to see, that you see in the background here. And then BNL is Bronco Nation Live. That's just kind of what we call the show. And if you ever have any questions on any of the other acronyms, I use a lot of them because I do a lot of technical work for my full-time job. So I'm totally using lots of acronyms when it comes to technology. So if you guys ever have a question, let me know and I'll let you know. All right, so we are live on TikTok. We're on YouTube and Instagram. It works best for the followers if you guys are on YouTube. Generally, the chat works a lot better, but we're able to get you on wherever it is that you're at. So and then for you, TikTok, if you guys have any questions or comments, put them in here in the chat, and Sam and I will hit those up, and we will we'll give your user profile name a shout out, and hopefully everybody is scooping everybody up in here and becoming frenzies. That's kind of the way it works. So this week, so tonight we are covering the college football championships that are coming up this weekend. I think our favorite is going to be the Mountain West Conference Championship that's happening.
Why would that be a favorite?
It might be one of the biggest games we in our history. That happens at 6:00 at Albertson Stadium. The Fox Big Noon kickoff will be in the stadium on the blue for pregame at 5. So we got that coming up, but we're also going to be covering all the other championship games and really highlighting some that have some pull or weight on the brackets within the CFP that may or may not affect Boise State this weekend. And then after that, we will also cover. We'll briefly cover some. Today was official signing day for recruits. We're going to spotlight about 3 C25 recruits, and then we'll, as we go along, we'll also hit some basketball too.
All right. Hey, I'm going to throw a curveball to you.
All right.
I know you said you wanted to jump right into the games, but I want to get your thoughts on that CFP rankings.
Yeah. So for me, and we texted back and forth over the last couple of days. For me, as I watched it, I think the last show that we had on Monday, I was thinking that really wanted the CFP to stay true with kind of the AP poll. Um, we were sitting at we're 10 in the AP, so I was really hoping that we would wind up at least at 10. We really need to be 10 to really have a shot at that 4 seed in the bracket. So was a little bit nervous about how they would handle Arizona State. So um, going into that show, I was really hyper focused on where's Arizona State going to land, and then so when they announced that they were 15, I had a sigh of relief because I was I was just thinking that if they really because of our past relationship with like the BCS and stuff like that, and especially in basketball with the seedings, we usually get a shit sandwich when it comes to that. So
I was at a company dinner whenever I was looking over the table to the bar just beyond the way that the TV they had on. Whenever I saw Iowa State, I saw them at 16. I'm like, all right, now let's go Arizona State 15. Arizona State 15. And they did. I'm like, yes. And everyone at the table's looking at me like, are you okay? I'm like, I'm perfect.
no,
This is
no, I'm
great.
not. I'm a college football fan.
So my
So,
biggest surprise was Ohio State only dropping 4 spots. That to me, that got me. And I'll touch on it a little bit whenever we do the ACC championship game. But I really don't think the CFP committee likes the ACC, or at least the state of Florida anyway, because they snubbed Florida State last year, and they're trying to do the same thing to Miami this year, and it's kind of ridiculous.
So and I was I was hoping that they would continue to be consistent, because from what I've seen is they are um you know they are being really consistent with just winning in general, right? And then who you lose to, right? So so when BYU and Colorado lost to Kansas, you know um they didn't they put that into the equation because Kansas at the time was like a 5-win team. um I was really hoping that would hold true, and then just and like I said, I was thinking that we would need the style points if BYU and Colorado continued to stay valid
Yeah.
in this. And then once they went out, then I was like, all right, let's see what the committee does. Are they going to hold true with just um, with the importance of winning? And so far they've been doing that. And and then that's for me, having Arizona State at 15, it kind of holds true with the winning, and then not like um, rewarding them because they did have a loss, a couple losses, and our loss was only to the only to the number one team
Right.
in the nation. So I was hoping that would be continue to stay relevant within as we keep going forward. We got another Boise State fan, Jennifer Weathersby. She's really active in Instagram. She's always liking the Bronco Nation updates posts. Really appreciate you, Jennifer. Hey, are you excited? Let us know if you're excited for the game. What do you expect to happen in the game? If you want to put in your predictions for how you think the game's going to be, who do you think's the most important key to our success in the Mountain West championship? Literally, comment whatever you want, and we will air it during the show.
Well, most anything anyway.
Yeah, within reason.
Well, what do you say we jump into this conference championship slate?
Sure. Let me let me bring up our brackets and our rankings real quick, so
All right.
people can see what we're dealing with here, what the rankings look like. There we go.
All right.
You got your top 25 here on the right. You have your brackets on the left. You got our boosted oxygen water icon up there. Make sure that you're supporting companies that are supporting Bronco Nation or Boise State.
All right. So first game we're going to start off with is Conference USA. They're going to kick off championship week. We got Western Kentucky at Jacksonville. Neither team can make the playoffs, so this is just for bowl placement and conference bragging rights. Just last week, Western Kentucky went and beat Jacksonville State at home. So now they have to go to Jacksonville and do it all over again to get a championship. And as we're going to see with there's a theme. There's 3 conference championships that have rematches from regular season matchups. That's the Conference USA, the Mountain West Conference, and the SEC Conference. So, and each one, I'm going to say the same thing. History isn't kind to the regular season winners because most of the time in the postseason, the loser comes out on top. So that'll be a fun game to watch. See if they can pull off the upset. Right now, I believe they are Jacksonville State's a 1.5 point favorite. So it's going to be a fun game.
Right now, Jacksonville, they both have identical records at 8-4. I see the spread at -5 for Jacksonville State.
Right. Whenever I do my favorites, just so everyone knows, and if they're on the Facebook group where I post my weekly guides, when I do my favorites, I always do what it opens as, because the spread, it fluctuates based on where the money's going, but the open never changes. So if you guys hear me say a number and you're following along on ESPN or following along on whatever sports app you use, and you say, well, that's not right, this guy's a hack. I'm not. I promise. I just go with what they open as.
Yeah, because it does fluctuate from the time it opens until up to kickoff, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
I also did something this week that I haven't done before. I went ahead and gave a score prediction for each game. And for this game, I took Jacksonville State to beat Western Kentucky 28-24. So we'll see how that goes.
Now, has Jacksonville State beat Western Kentucky already this year?
Western Kentucky beat Jacksonville State. That's how they were able to. Yeah, that's how they were able to work their way in. They had to beat Jacksonville State, and Sam Houston had to beat Liberty, and both that happened. And if Sam Houston would have lost, Liberty would have been playing this week.
So you're going with that trend where they even it up in the championship.
Yeah, in this game, you'll see that I kind of favor a certain other team that has that same trend.
So.
Let's do a little foreshadowing. Next up, we got the AAC. This one, Tulane really laid an egg on their season last week against Memphis. Memphis, of course, now ranked number 25, but Tulane was ranked 17, and just I watched a little bit of that game, and they did not look like the 17th ranked team in the nation, and they got handled. But they gave up a home field advantage and a CFP bid all in 1 week, and now instead of getting to play down in South Louisiana, they get to go up and play in 26-degree weather in West Point, New York against Army, who also jumped into the top 25 this week. So good on them. Right now, the playoff predictor shows Army as a 7.3% chance to make the CFP, and I think there's a bug in ESPN's playoff predictor. I guess it's the All-State playoff predictor. because I don't see a scenario where that could even remotely happen because, like I said, Tulane's not ranked. So even if UNLV beat Boise State, uh, Army's not going to jump them. So I don't know. I just put it in there because that's what the computer said. but I don't see a path forward for Army. I really don't think either one of these teams are playing for the playoffs. But I do think Army's going to stay undefeated in AAC play and beat Tulane 30-21.
Because right now you got Army sitting at 24th in the CFP rankings at 10-1. Tulane 9-3. Really got to continue to give Memphis props on that because that really solidified our hopes. We still got to win, right?
Yep.
Boise State
Yep.
still has to win. I don't see, like, if God forbid if Boise State didn't win, I wouldn't UNLV pick up that G5 at large over Army since they're ranked better, correct?
Right. Correct. And like I said, I guess that 7% is just in case the committee views Army's win better. If UNLV win is a sloppy win, I guess that'd be the only way forward I see for Army. But again, like you said, Tulane's lost last week. That almost guaranteed that the Mountain West would be represented in the CFP this year.
Yeah.
So, what do you say we talk about the game that everyone cares about?
The game.
The game, Mountain West Conference Championship. Big noon kickoff's going to be there, like you said, and I believe 5:00, correct? Number 20 UNLV, number 10 Boise State. This is finally the top 25 matchup Boise State deserves to have. It's been a long time coming. We could have had it against Washington State. We could have had it against the first time we played UNLV, but at least we got it now. So this is definitely a must-win game. And for all you Bronco Nation fans out there that have been posting in the Facebook group saying that you wanted to host a home playoff game, well, you got it. This is a home playoff game. Win and you are in. It doesn't get any more of a playoff than that. It's if everyone shows up, the bought tickets to show up, and we end up packing out, it could be a record crowd, and it could be a record win. It'll be the biggest win since Oklahoma. So get out there, pack the stands, dress warm, get you one of those water bottle bags, fill it with hot chocolate and coffee or whatever, and stick it down in your shirt so your body stays warm and you sip on hot chocolate all night, and lose your voices so much that whenever you go to the Boise State basketball game Saturday night or afternoon, you can't scream at that game either.
Yeah, and I'm gonna echo that. So I'm gonna be doing this. So I'm encouraging everyone else, be loud from whistle to snap when UNLV possesses the ball. Don't let up from the first snap all the way to the fourth quarter. I don't care what the score is. This is our playoff. This is our home playoff. Like Sam said, this is our home playoff game, and we need to win it. We want to be bracket busters here. Wouldn't it be something if the first year of this 12-team CFP came out, a little team from Boise, Idaho, shocked the world and took the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's doable from where we're at and what teams are right now kind of slotted around us. But that 25-day break, we need that.
Yeah.
We need that. That means that we could have a 100% Ashton Genty. We may have Sire Gaines back.
Yeah.
Our line.
Something that we're going to have for the I just read an article before we hopped on here that we're going to have our full original starting 5 on the offensive line for the Mountain West Conference game. So
Yep.
that's going to be good.
And it may even, I'm not sure what Alexander Tubner's status is right now, but if he can't give it a go on Friday, hopefully if he does, he's 100%, because kind of need him to be at 100%, just so that he's not exploited by UNLV. But
Yeah.
that would even give him a chance to get fully recovered for that. And so, I mean, if you have a healthy Ashton Genty, a healthy Sire Gaines, Breezy DeBar, and Dylan Riley, man, watch out. We would have, and then depending on where we land, if we land in the Fiesta Bowl, that's like another home game, and
Yep.
who knows what can happen from there.
Yeah, this game is definitely not going to be an easy game either. This is the second of 3 rematch games. UNLV is going to be coming in looking to avenge their 5-point loss back in October. Their only other loss is to the number 22 team in the country right now in Syracuse, and that was a 3-point overtime loss. So it's UNLV is going to give us their best shot again. I only hope that they don't stack the box the entire game like they did before. I hope they come out and say, well, that didn't work the first time. Let's try something new. So we'll see. We'll see how that works out. I got Boise State breaking the trend of regular season winners losing in the championship. And I got Boise State 33, UNLV 24. And we got a comment from Avery Hopkins. He wants to know what our thoughts on South Carolina are. I think South Carolina got hosed. That's just my opinion. I was high on them before the CFP just because of their hot streak that they've been on. Close losses, big wins, and they're if Clemson wins, they'll have beaten another playoff team. So I really thought that they would have at least jumped Ole Miss and got into that 13-11 range. But I guess the head-to-head with Alabama, even though it was a close loss, was just too much to overcome for them to make any real big gains in the polls.
Yeah, because right now they have South Carolina is at 14, Alabama is 11. Yeah, I think weren't we talking about this on Monday? And I think I said that I thought South Carolina is a better team than Alabama and is more worthy of being in the brackets than Alabama. But we're going to hear a lot of this conspiracy stuff about Alabama and stuff like that. But yeah, Alabama lost to Oklahoma. Okay.
Yeah.
So that should have, to me,
they didn't just lose; they only scored 3 points against them.
Yeah, they got drubbed by the lowly Oklahoma. So for me, I think that should have, even though they have the head-to-head over South Carolina, I still think that South Carolina should be ranked ahead of Alabama.
Yep. I will say this: if Tulane hadn't lost, if UNLV would have beat Boise State, wouldn't have been a guarantee that UNLV would have gotten in. They would have had to hope that Boise State's win would have been more than Tulane's win if Tulane beat Army. But it's without Tulane losing, it's just another conference championship game. With Tulane losing, it turns into not just conference championship, but playoff as well. Let's move on to Saturday and go to the MAC, shall we? The MAC, you got Ohio and Miami, Ohio. The MAC has done something that the Big Ten has failed to do since 2019. You know what that something is, Nick?
Go ahead.
They've guaranteed a team from Ohio is going to win in the state of Michigan.
I just looked and see saw where they're playing that game.
Yeah. So this game doesn't have any bearing on Boise State or the playoffs, but it's just bragging rights at this point, and bowl placement. So I've got the underdog in this one. I got Ohio 24 and Miami, Ohio 17.
Did you just say did these guys have a head-to-head?
No, they don't have a head-to-head. No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
No, the only other head-to-head we have is Georgia and Texas.
SEC.
So, yeah. So the Big 12, this one here, a sigh of relief, as we both have expressed whenever this became a 15-16 game, because it basically guarantees no less than a 4 seed. Number 16 Iowa State and number 15 Arizona. Arizona is a 1.5 point favorite, and they've been the hotter team towards the end of the season, and they've been a big pivotal factor in clearing the way for Boise State to be in position to get one of those bye weeks. So I don't see either one of these teams winning, jumping them high enough to jump Boise State. But by kickoff, they will know if they're playing for a 4 seed or a 12 seed. If Boise State loses to UNLV Friday night, then this game becomes a bye week playoff game. Whoever wins is going to get that 4th seed. If Boise State wins, then they're playing for that final conference champion, the 5th highest ranked conference champion spot at the number 12 seed.
And right now they have those seeded out, as you guys can see in this screen. It has Arizona State with the 12th seed versus a Penn State, but again, both have these championships to go through their course.
Now, if this bracket holds true, there's going to be a game that I would pay good money to watch. And if they put it on pay-per-view or on Peacock like they did Boise State and Oregon, I'd pay to see that game. And that's if Arizona State ends up playing Boise State in the CFP. Can you imagine watching Scatterboo and Genty going head-to-head, one rushing for Arizona State, one rushing for Boise State, two of the hottest backs in the league right now going head-to-head? That would be one fun game to watch.
Yeah, it'd be like watching two thoroughbreds.
Yeah. I mean, the games that I've watched Arizona play, they run similarly. They bounce off of defenders and they get downfield.
So I wonder how many broken tackles Scatterboo has.
I could tell you, but then I'd be lying.
You have Arizona State winning this game?
I do. 38-24.
And so I'm just going to play, let's play some scenarios here. So if Iowa State wins, are they going to get that 12 seed?
Yeah, whoever wins the Big 12 will get the 12 seed.
Okay.
Yep. There's, like I said, the only way that you're going to see the AAC still a seeding is if UNLV and Boise State play just an absolute ugly game and both teams look absolutely horrible and UNLV ends up winning. They may jump Army in as the 5th highest ranked conference champion. But I just don't see that happen. I think your 5 conference champions is going to be the Big 10, the SEC, the ACC, the Mountain West, and the Big 12. So I just don't see a path for any other conference champion to get there. I have to disagree with you, Bubbles. If Boise State loses, it's not going to be a blowout loss. It'll be a close one, much like the earlier matchup where Boise State won by 5. I'm not saying Boise State can't lose because anything can happen any given Saturday, or in this case Friday. That's why everyone loves college football. We're definitely hoping that Clemson beats SMU, and so is Arizona State. Okay, I got you. If it happens, yeah. If Boise State loses and SMU loses, Arizona State can absolutely get a 3 seed, or Iowa State for that matter. They can absolutely get a 3 seed. That's not out of the realm of possibilities. And then that would then open up the if UNLV beats Boise State, obviously they'd get the 3 seed, and the ACC, or the 12 seed, excuse me, and the ACC would get the 4 seed. Clemson would be 4. So
Yeah,
it is a possibility.
We also have Jack on TikTok. He's asking, do you think Notre Dame, with the way they have been playing, have a chance, I guess, at the title or the natty?
Yeah. And again, like I was saying, it can happen any given day in college football. Notre Dame, obviously not being in a conference, can't get a first-round bye, so they've got to play one more game, which could be detrimental, but it could also help them because they'll have that momentum going into the next game, playing against the team that's been sitting for 25 days. So do they have a shot? Absolutely. Anybody in the playoffs has a shot until they don't.
And that works into Bubbles' next comment here on TikTok. Do teams with a bye, having 1 month off, have a disadvantage? I don't know. My take on that, my take for my team is we need that. We need the bye.
Yeah,
because we're really banged up. I don't know about the other teams.
Yeah, it depends on injuries, Bubbles. If your team's full of injuries, then you want the rest. Even if you think it might be a disadvantage, get out there and go through one hard practice about 4 days before the game day to knock off the rust, go full contact, and just get back into heavy hitting play mode, and you should be all right. The only way it'd be a disadvantage is if they get out of their normal practice routine. If they get out there and knock shoulder pads a few times in that 25 days, I don't think it's a disadvantage.
Yeah, and like I think for me, my opinion is if you have a team that's relatively healthy, they're a finesse team. I could see them, if they have that extended period of time, unless if they're not doing the work every day still, I could see where that might, especially if they're peaking like a Notre Dame. So
yeah.
But where we're sitting right now, Notre Dame is at a 6 seed. So having those regular games for me, because they really are, they're peaking. Or like say if South Carolina was higher up in there, where they're peaking, I could see where that would be a disadvantage for those teams that are peaking. But for my team, Boise State, it's literally been one game at a time, and we've been working our way through injuries and some rust and grinding our way to some of these victories. So I think that it would be very welcome to have a 25-day layoff.
And another thing to look at too is it's not like the first round teams that are winning are going to come in and play the next week. They're going to have 2 weeks off as well coming into that game. So they're going to have a little rust on them too. They're going to have 2 weeks between championship week and the first round. They're going to have 2 weeks after the first round before the quarterfinals. So I think it's the 20th and 21st, I think, if I'm not mistaken, is the first round of the playoffs. So they're gonna have that time, and both teams, or all 8 teams in the quarterfinals, they're gonna have that Christmas break too, where they're probably gonna get to go home to their families. All 8 teams are gonna be able to do that, and then come back and get ready for those New Year's Eve and New Year's Day games. So, wait, did I get my dates mixed up? No, that's about right. Right? Yeah.
Hey, everybody. Thank you again for watching Bronco Nation Live. I just want to shout out to our iconic Serving Bronco Nation member, Boosted Oxygen Water. If you look up to the corner there, you'll see their famous blue bottle. So if you love watching America's best team, the Broncos, on the iconic blue, go to Walmart and get the blue bottle. Boosted Oxygen Water. It's great for your internal clock, and it's great for watch parties, tailgates, Saturday mornings after a heavy Friday. So it's available at your local Walmarts, and also pick it up on the app. Just type in Boosted Oxygen Water, it'll come right up, and you can make your order. So we want to support the companies that support the Boise State Broncos. These guys have stepped up and given to the program. So let's support Boosted Oxygen Water.
So Chase is asking who our natty pick is. And I'd have to say I got two versions, Chase. One is my homer version, and that is Boise State versus Texas. That would be my natty pick, and obviously Boise State winning. But that's just the homer in me speaking out. I live in Texas, so I like the Texas schools. Realistically, following the trends and everything, and I guess you could say statistically as well, I do Georgia and Oregon with it'd literally be a coin toss at that point. You got speed versus power, so which has been historically Oregon. Anytime they lose, they always lose to the power schools. So you can make a case that Georgia could be your national champion. And the only reason I say Georgia, they've been there before. They know how to win in the playoffs, and they know how to get there. But looking at the bracket, there's not a team on the Oregon side of the bracket that Oregon can't beat or hasn't beat. And there's not a team on the Georgia side of the bracket that Georgia can't beat or hasn't beat. So I think it's going to be Georgia and Oregon. But the homer in me wants Boise State and Texas.
Yeah, and for me, I've been really high up on Boise State, since I saw the schedule last year. I figured we'd have that one loss to Oregon, but if and we did, we barely lost, by that last second field goal.
Yeah.
So I do think that if we can get in and get a bye, I think we have a legitimate shot. And I'm not being homer this time. I think that this team is special. I almost think it's almost darn near ordained. Just the way that the season's gone, coming off the last couple tumultuous seasons. But if Boise State doesn't run the table, I'm high on Oregon. I'm high on Dan Lanning. I think that this could be his year. If it's not, if my team doesn't do it, I really think that just the way that he's built that team, and at first it was a little bit slow for them, and then it's after they got over on Boise State, then they've really been each week they've been taking it to the next level, and I just I think that even if they did meet Georgia or whoever, I just think that it's Dan Lanning's time. I think
Yeah.
he's built something special there.
Jay just wants to know what we think about them Vols, and I think Tennessee is a sleeper in this bracket. If they beat Ohio State, I don't know that they can beat Oregon, but if they're a very streaky team, and not just streaky in weeks, but streaky inside the game. In the same game, they can look like a national championship team or a group of 5 team that's barely beating the middle of their pack. So, but they find ways to win. So I have them as my sleeper team.
Tennessee.
Yep.
Because right
Yeah,
now,
the only problem is Bubbles. I don't think the Tennessee will get a home game. Right now, they're projected to have to go to the Horseshoe and play Ohio State.
so do you think if they have a loss in front of them from, let's see, 1 through 3? Yeah, or yeah, 1 through, well, excluding Notre Dame.
Yeah.
You got 4 teams ahead of Tennessee that
Yeah,
have games.
I guess they can make their way into a home game. They might be able to make their way into a home game, Bubbles. And you're right, that would be a dangerous game.
Yeah.
Cactus, we've collectively have decided that it's going to be either Oregon, Boise State, Texas, or Georgia. Those are the 4 that we thought about.
Bubble says Ohio State has been exposed and teams have confidence against them. Yeah, they're trending downward for sure.
Mm. Let's move into the SEC championship game while we're talking about SEC teams sneaking in and winning and dark horsing.
This is going to be in Atlanta at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Yep. Pretty close to a home game for Georgia, huh?
Yeah, Texas is technically the home team for this game, but they're not going to be playing anywhere close to home. They are right smack dab in Georgia's backyard. Texas, this is the third game this postseason of a rematch of regular season losses, and I look for Texas to keep their number 2 seed alive, and barring a blowout loss, the SEC is going to take the number 2 seed, whether it's Texas or Georgia. If Texas loses in a blowout fashion, if Georgia loses in a blowout fashion, it may drop them out. Not likely, but it's possible, depending on what the committee thinks. But I don't think Georgia's going to lose that bad. They may lose, but they're not going to lose that bad. And I think they're going to be playing for that first round bye. But I still think Texas is going to come out on top because they've got more fire after losing in the regular season.
Now, if Georgia does win Texas, would that be considered chaos, or are we beyond that point now?
We're beyond that point now. The only chaos we're going to get is in the ACC. Boise State's a solid 4 seed if they win. If Clemson beats SMU in the ACC, Boise State will move up to a 3 seed. I had someone comment asking about the chaos on this post, and basically what will happen is if the favorites all lose, or the presumptive, excuse me, if the top teams all lose, they're basically going to switch spaces. So right now you got Oregon, Texas, SMU, Boise State, Penn State, and Notre Dame as the top 6. If the top teams lose, then you're going to have Penn State 1, Georgia 2, Boise State 3, Iowa State 4, Notre Dame 5, and then Oregon and Texas at 6 and 7. barring a blowout loss, they're not going to drop them down too bad. They'll still get their home playoff games. They've been solid all year. They're not going to punish them for a championship loss. So that's just, and then everyone below them will stay the same. So
Did you see what Cactus asked?
Say that again.
Cactus is asking, who do you think will win, Georgia or Texas on Saturday, and what about during the playoffs?
I like Texas to win Saturday, 24-16, and I like Georgia to beat Texas in the playoffs if they get on the same side of the bracket. Georgia will win the rubber match.
Because right now they do have them on the same side of the bracket. If say if Texas wins, well, Georgia has the 7th seed. Would that knock them out of that section of the bracket, do you think?
Georgia's sitting at number 5 in the rankings. They're 7th seed because of the conference champions needing to be 1 through 4. So it may drop them out of a home game, but it won't drop them out of the bracket unless it's a blowout.
But right now they have them on the 7th seed against Indiana, which is a 10 seed, and
I think that's about as cupcake as you're going to get in the play on that side of the bracket. To me, Indiana is probably the easiest team to beat in the bracket. Sorry, all you Indiana fans. I like what Signetti did over there, and I believe he's coach of the year. But seeing how they played against Ohio State, they're missing that oomph to get them over the top. Once they find it, then they're going to be perennials.
Yeah, because towards the end there of the regular season, I was hearing the term overrated a little bit on them, but I still like their coach, and they put in a hell of a season.
Kessler, I could see that. Oregon could be a 5 instead of a 6.
If they lost, right?
Yeah.
Against Penn State.
Yeah. I wouldn't argue against that. It could very well be that way. Shall we move on to the Sun Belt? Go a little G5 action. You got Marshall in Louisiana, the Raging Cajuns. Marshall's overtime come from behind overtime victory over James Madison screwed Boise State out of getting a 3rd conference championship team on their schedule. If Marshall would have lost, Georgia Southern would have been in this game, and that would have put Boise State and played Oregon, Georgia Southern, and UNLV, and it would have tied them with Ohio State for playing the most conference championship teams, and would tie Ohio State's record at 2-1 as well. So
that dropped Oregon or Georgia Southern down to 7-5, correct?
Yeah,
I think they were 7-4 last week.
Yep. So, Georgia Southern won their game, so they still won 8-4.
Okay. So they're okay. Okay.
Marshall beat James Madison to get in.
Oh, okay. Okay. And then that would because then they have that 9-3 record.
Yeah. So I'm for that reason, I'm rooting for the Raging Cajuns to avenge Georgia Southern and beat Marshall 48-27. The Big Ten.
I just love the Raging Cajuns. I love their name.
Yeah, it's fun to say.
And it reminds me of Waterboy.
Yeah.
Bobby Boucher.
Cayman 43. I think I'm saying that right. Notre Dame. What's your thoughts on Notre Dame, Nick?
Oh, we got a question here.
Yeah, thoughts on Notre Dame?
Oh, like I was saying, I think that they are a team that's hot, that's streaking. They're running on on full cylinders right now, at the right time. A lot of people counted them out when they lost to Northern Illinois,
Mm-hmm.
but they've been proving themselves throughout the year. So I think that they're doing great right at the right time, and I wouldn't want to meet them in the first round.
Yeah, I think Notre Dame and Alabama would be a great first round game.
Yeah, right now that's what it's seeded, and neither one plays. So I wonder if that's going to stay that way.
I think it should. I think if your top five, your Oregon, Texas, Penn State, and Georgia, all, of course, they're not all going to lose because they're just. I think they'll basically just flip flop with each other. Yeah, I don't think that Notre Dame can't get anything more than a 5 seed. So, and if Penn State loses to Oregon, Notre Dame will regain that 5 seed, and that'll put them back on our side of the bracket. They'll have to go through us to get to the championship.
Mm-hmm. that would
which
pin,
which could put it'll just be a preview game for next year because Boise State travels to Notre Dame.
Yeah, I want to go to that game.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, if they got up to 5, then that would pin them up against Arizona State. Oh no, it'd be if they win, right?
Yeah.
Arizona State still has to win, which I wouldn't want to face Notre Dame in the first round.
I don't think they'd be number 1. I think they'd probably be number 2. Oregon, Notre Dame, and then Texas. Even if they were number 1, they couldn't get a number 1 seed because they're not a conference champion. So they'd still get a 5 seed no matter what.
So Sam is answering Scoopsy's question. If Notre Dame never lost to NIU, would they be a number 1? And
yeah, if they never lost to NIU, I don't see why they wouldn't be a number 1.
Because they'd be undefeated.
Right. The only thing is when Oregon beat Ohio State, they may have jumped Oregon over Notre Dame, maybe, just for the quality of win. I know Notre Dame's got a handful of ranked wins under their belt. So, to be honest with you, I do not know what Notre Dame's weaknesses are. I haven't watched enough of their games to give a informed decision on that one.
Scoops is saying their kicking's their weakness.
Kicking. All right. I'll take your word for it. Move on to the Big Ten, shall we?
Sure.
Being played in Indianapolis, Penn State, and Oregon. It's going to be a fun game to watch. Oregon's 1 win away from entering the CFP undefeated, and Penn State is 1 loss away from proving they can't beat a top 5 team. Both schools locked for a playoff, so this is basically they're playing for seeding at this point. If Penn State loses, they'll probably fall to a 7, maybe even a 6 seed. They might get a 6 seed, but I put them in the 7 to 8 area, depending on how bad the loss is.
For Oregon or Penn State?
Penn State. If Penn State loses in a blowout, they could drop them lower, but I still think they get a home playoff game.
Shannon,
I like what Mike said. Notre Dame's weakness is teams from the north side of Illinois.
Yeah. We have a Facebook Boise State fan, Shannon. She says, how awesome would it be to see BSU and Oregon play again? Right now, we're looking at him. If Boise State remains at 4 and Oregon remains at 1, there's a chance in the semifinals.
Yep. Another rematch. Another postseason rematch to go on. I've got Penn State losing 20-30 to Oregon in the Big Ten championship.
Yeah, I'm not really big on Penn State either. Yeah, I just
They've lost the only game they ever really, the only team they ever played. They lost to Ohio State, so that's been the only real team they played this year. The ACC. Now this game here between number 17 Clemson and number 8 SMU is going to have the most effect on playoff seeding. Whether Boise State wins or UNLV wins, this game here is going to affect the ACC, the Mountain West, and the Big 12 seeding. Because if SMU wins, then we're going to see the board like it is now, with the conferences like they are now. The only difference is if UNLV beats Boise State, the Big 12 will get the 4 seed and the Mountain West will get the 12 seed. If Boise State wins, everything's going to stay the same. If Clemson wins, it's going to drop the ACC to the 12 seed. Clemson will be number 12 just because of their rank being at number 17. Both Arizona State and Iowa State are in front of them, so either one of those two teams winning, Clemson's not going to jump them. So you're going to see Boise State will actually switch from a 4 seed to a 3 seed, moving their playoff game from the Fiesta Bowl to the Peach Bowl. They'll be playing in Georgia instead of Arizona. And then you will see the Big 12 move into the 4 seed, and you'll see the ACC move into that 12 seed spot. And if UNLV wins, then you'll see the ACC move into you'll see the Big 12 move into the 3 seed, the ACC to the 4 seed, and the Mountain West will get the 12 seed. So there's a lot riding for playoff seeding on the ACC game, and it's going to be a good game. If the Clemson team that the good Clemson team shows up, then they can beat SMU. If the Clemson team that lost to South Carolina, though South Carolina is a good team this year, but Clemson didn't play good that game. If that team shows up, then SMU is going to win.
I'm thinking I think there's going to be an upset with the 17 Clemson over 8 SMU, just for the simple fact that Dabo's been there before, and SMU's there. I don't know if anybody has seen this, but there's been like an AD skirmish on the X, and it's Iowa State and SMU, and they're both of their ADs are calling each other overrated and this and that. I think that I think that ACC has been kind of a soft league this year.
I've got Clemson winning 27-23. But can we just talk for a second about how much the CFP hates the ACC? I mean, you've got Ohio State that loses by 3 at home to a 6-win Michigan team. Granted, it's a rivalry game, but still, 6-win Michigan team. You're set up to win that game. I believe they were were they a double-digit favorite? I don't remember now. I think they were a double-digit favorite. I could be wrong, though. They lose by 3, and they drop 4 spots. Now you have Miami, who loses to the now number 22 and at the time an 8-win team, Syracuse, by 4, and they drop them 6 spots completely out. They snubbed Florida State last year. They're snubbing Miami this year. What did the ACC do to the CFP to make them want to do all this to them? It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, golly.
I'm wondering if it wasn't SMU, if it was other than SMU leading that league, if it would have been a little bit different because right now, to me, I just think that there's something about SMU. Maybe it's the perception because they were at G5, and they're literally paying the ACC to play
Yeah.
with them. So I don't know. I'm thinking that maybe as Clemson goes, the committee goes, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And since Clemson's down, they just aren't giving him that much respect. And I get what you're saying because Ohio State only went down 4, correct? 4 spots.
3. Oh yeah, yeah, 4 spots. Yeah.
Yeah.
AE on TikTok says if Oregon loses, who's number 1?
Hey,
Texas or Penn State?
Yeah.
Nice. If Oregon loses, and if you're saying Texas or Penn State, that would assume that Texas beat Georgia. So Texas beating a top 5 team, I don't see Penn State, even though they beat the number 1 team. I don't see them jumping Texas. I think you'll have Texas 1 and Penn State 2. If.
Because then you'd have 3 1-loss Power 4 teams.
You'd have 4 between Notre Dame, Penn State, Texas, and Oregon.
True. Yep. Forgot Oregon's still undefeated.
Yeah. The path for Boise State to get a 3 seed hinges on 2 games and 2 games only: the Mountain West Conference Championship game and the ACC Conference Championship game. If they win the Mountain West, they're guaranteed a 4 seed. If Clemson loses or wins the ACC, they're guaranteed a 3 seed. So the ACC, if whoever wins that, will tell the tale where Boise State's going. So Boise State can win, and they can start preparing for the playoffs, but they don't know who they're going to play until after the ACC championship, which is the last one. Well, I guess Big Ten and ACC are playing at the same time. So
I want to clear something up here. So it was my understanding that 4 seed goes to the Fiesta Bowl.
Yep.
3 seed goes to the Peach
Bowl. Yep.
2 seed goes to the Cotton Bowl.
I believe so, yeah.
1 seed goes to the Rose Bowl.
Yep.
Okay. So I read where they actually are making it regional, right? Depending on where the team is. Like if Boise State was a 3, even if we were qualified for the 3rd seed, we might still be in the Fiesta Bowl. And I don't know how that works. I don't know how they'd have to flip the script.
Well, if you look at that side of the bracket where the 3 seeds at, you'll have either Alabama or Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm. And that would be around, SEC country which would make sense where the Peach Bowl would be.
Yeah. And of course, you got Indiana and Georgia would play Texas Cotton Bowl, so that would be fine. Arizona State, Penn State on the 4 seed, that could still be the Fiesta Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
The Tennessee, Oregon, or Ohio State, Oregon. I mean, that's taking Oregon Northwest and Ohio State North Central or Northeast.
But Ohio and Oregon still have ties to the Rose Bowl.
Yeah. So I don't think, even if Boise State's a 3 seed, I don't think they're going to change them around.
Yeah, because that was my understanding. Like the 4th seed is tied to the Fiesta Bowl, 3's to Peach, 2's to Cotton, and 1's to Rose.
Alex. Alex says nothing would happen for Carolina to move up, right? Blowout losses could happen. The playoff predictor still has them as a 25% chance to make it, though I don't know why. I haven't dug deep into that to figure out the analytics of the playoff predictor. I guess if SMU lost and Boise State lost, they could view South Carolina better than Ole Miss. But if they were going to do that, why did they not jump them this week after beating Clemson? But yeah, that's the only way I see South Carolina in. Boise State losing and SMU losing, and then maybe the committee sees South Carolina better than Ole Miss. Mark says if Bama really goes to Notre Dame in late December, Notre Dame will throttle them in the snow. I do not disagree with that. I do not disagree with that one bit.
Hey, I just want to remind you, all of you Boise State fans, if you have a company or you're an influencer and you want to get recognized, I suggest that you get on our Serving Bronco Nation directory, and on there you get the chance to partake in the millions of views that we get every month and year. So for affordable price plan, you can help out the Boise State Broncos through our nonprofit Blue Elevation, but you also can you would also benefit from the views that you get from being a part of our empire. So if you're interested in that, you can either contact us at contact@blueelevation.org or go to servingbronconation.com/plans. And we have lots of awesome companies who are on it, and they're benefiting greatly. One of them is we have a painter on there, and he did quite well over the summer after being on the directory for a while. And also, just another shout out to our iconic member, Boosted Oxygen Water. Right there in the top corner, you will see the icon of the blue bottle. So if you love the blue, the Go Big Blue, then go to your local Walmart and pick up the blue bottle, or online on the Walmart app, type in Boosted Oxygen Water and get your case today.
What do you say we switch up and do some recruiting?
Sure. Today was a big day. We had Boise State had 22 C25 recruits make it official today on National Signing Day. And we will, let me see here. Let me bring them up here. Yeah, we'll go here. We're going to highlight 3 of them because I think that they're going to be major contributors right away as freshmen. Let's start out with Dominic Calhoun. For me, it's kind of a blessing to be in the position I am with Bronco Nation updates, as I get to be acquainted with the recruiting process, see them from when they make their visits, their official visits. I get to follow them, and Dominic is a very good young man. I could see him contributing right away, and also I do believe he's going to be a future captain of our defense.
Yeah, from Pittsburgh, California. He's 6'1", 192 pounds. He had offers from Washington State and San Jose State, and he chose Boise State over both of them. His 24 stats, he had 41 solo tackles, 27 assists for 68 total. And 4 of them are tackled for loss, 1 interception, and 5 pass deflects.
Yeah, if there's I said this earlier before, somewhere on one of our platforms. He's literally the OKGist of OKGs. So he's our kind of guy. He's got that blue collar mentality. He's driven by faith, and he's not afraid to live out his faith and his principles. So that's why I think that he's going to be a captain on the team eventually.
So, in your opinion, we all know, we watch Boise State play, and we know that our secondary at times has looked less than desirable. Is he going to step in day one and be able to patch some of them holes up?
I think so. He to me, he reminds me of an Alexander Tubner type. Not so much. I think he has better strength on some of those long balls, but I think that he will definitely be one that's out there that can defend the slot, going across the middle, make those sure-handed tackles that we need, basically kind of like what Tubner does today. So I see him in that role mainly.
Good deal.
Yeah.
24/7 has him a 3-star as well. So I know Boise State has had a lot of success pulling in them 3-star recruits and turning them into first-round draft picks.
Okay. Next we have. We'll go with Q.
Quentin Brown.
Quentin Brown has been on my radar since one of his early visits. This guy is fast. He's a wide receiver. He's not the tallest, but he's got a motor. He's going to be. He's not as tall as Dylan Riley, but he's fast like Dylan Riley. So he kind of reminds me of like a Shane Williams Rhodes type.
He struck me as a Khalil Shakir.
Yeah, that too. But he is fast, and he's got a extraordinary motor. He can also take the hits and keep on going, and he can break tackles. I think that he's going to be an instant impact for sure.
Yeah. He's 5'9", 165 pounds, from Liberty Christian School in Argyle, Texas. He had notable offers from Pitt, Oregon State, Army, Colorado State, and Navy. He runs the 40 in a 4.25. He's a state champion in the 100-meter at 10.35 seconds. Runs the 200 in 21.16, and he has an in-game mile per hour clocked at 22.24 miles per hour.
Yep, he's
fast.
He is his speed reminds me of the Jet, Dylan Riley. So probably see him on special teams.
Yeah.
Next year.
He was number 49 in the state of Texas in kick return yards at 27.47 per kick return, and 71st in Texas in punt return yards at 15.40. On the year, he's got 753 total yards and 11 touchdowns, which isn't bad for Texas football.
Yeah, and all his entire season, he was sharing his highlights, and there was plenty to go around. Like there was like every week, man. It's like he was breaking just Genty-esque runs,
Yeah.
after catch. So yeah, he's going to be a stud.
Yeah. When you got that quick speed to make the first guy miss and get to open field, that I saw his speed. I'm like, oh man, please let this kid be tall. And then I looked at his height and I'm like, okay, well, he can catch and outrun him then.
Yeah, no, he's going to be a good weapon. Kaylee Osley says, "Let's go, Boise State." That's what I'm talking about. We had 22 signees today, a pretty good one. We did have some bad news last week. We had a couple flip, but they flipped to SEC teams. That's when you're doing something good. As a Boise State, when you got a couple recruits, one flipped to Georgia and the other flipped to Missouri. So all in all, a good day for recruiting. Next, we are going to look at. Oh, this one's going to be a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Jabri Bickham. He, to me, he is another. He's got the size and in the style of a JL Skinner. Also very good at tackling. He will complement Buck Benefield well in the secondary. They both of them are kind of carbon copies of JL, and I don't think that you can have too many people that have the skills of JL and the capacity to punish our opponents.
Yeah, he's a 6'3", 180-pound defensive back, wide receiver from McKinney High School here in McKinney, Texas. His notable offers are from Michigan State and the good old Raging Cajuns. I would almost want him to play both sides of the ball at Boise State and then win the Heisman where Travis Hunter couldn't. that would be hilarious. But his offensive stats, he's got 2 carries, 6 yards and a touchdown, 27 receptions, 329 yards and 2 touchdowns for 358 total yards, 3 touchdowns. He does it on rushing, receiving, punt return, kick return. He's the utility player. On defense, he's got 14 solo tackles, 10 assists, 5 interceptions, and 3 pass deflects this last year. So he's the whole package. I'm excited to watch him play.
Yeah, he just from what I've seen, the highlights of him throughout his senior season, definitely a great athlete. Love his fundamentals on both sides of the ball. Excited to see him get into it. And I think that he's got the skill set to help out right away.
Well, the Boise State men's basketball team, they were in action last night. Did you go to that game?
No, I had to work, but I followed it closely and got that update out to everyone.
Yep. They improved to 6-2 with their 87-64 win. There's 10,282 people there last night.
Yep. And Tyson Degenhart went a perfect 7 for 7, scored 21 points, and he's now officially on 9th spot on the all-time points leader for Boise State. So he's solidifying his Hall of Fame status. He's
nice.
An active legend, as I would call him.
Yep. The team shot 52.6 from the floor, 35% from 3, had 38 rebounds, 19 assists, 80% from the free throw line, 7 steals, 1 blocks, and only 9 turnovers. So up next, they've got Washington State, downtown Boise, Saturday at 4 p.m. Central on CBS. You guys, if you can't make it to the game, you can at least watch it. But that's only one game in this weekend full of Boise State sports. So on Friday, the women's basketball playing a home game against Utah Tech. That game is at 2 o'clock Mountain Time. It's going to be on the Mountain West Network, but if you're heading out to the Boise State game, might as well go a little bit earlier and go over to the X and watch the ladies play, show them your support. And then whenever that game's over, you can pop out to the Ford Fan Fest area outside Albertson Stadium and watch the EA Sports College Football 25 Mountain West Championship. Boise State's Matthew Wallace is going to be playing San Jose State's Tanner Yu. So that if you've never watched an esports match before, there's no time like the present to do it. The winner is also going to be recognized during the football game as well. And then, of course, the nightcap is Boise State and UNLV at 6 o'clock Mountain Time on Fox. And that's the game everyone's going to be looking forward to. But there's plenty to do leading up to the game. If you're getting antsy and going, all right, it's time for game time, let's go. Why don't you go out and support some of your other Broncos in action while you're waiting for the game to start?
Yeah, it's going to be a good day to just make an event, go support the women's basketball team. They're doing great. They're 7-2. I've always enjoyed going to the women's games. Just like Jennifer says there, let's go Boise State. And then also you get a chance to just go right across the parking lot as you're going to go to the game anyway and see Doc Haskell's team. They are like our esport team is like the top. We're like the Alabama of esports for real.
Yeah.
Like Doc has like over 1,000 wins or something like that, something incredible. So that would be a good opportunity to see that. And it's like just right there. I know that I'm going to be right around there. I took the day off. I'm hoping to get in there early and watch the big noon kickoff. Hopefully get down there around the patio, and if they let me, and get as close as I can to the action. I know we have some people on TikTok asking some questions right now.
Yeah, Thomas Corona, he asks if UNLV gets in if they win, and yes, they will. Whether or not it's a 4 seed or a 12 seed depends on the ACC championship game. If Clemson wins, they'll be a 4 seed, and the Big 12 champion will be a 3 seed. If Clemson loses, they'll be in as a 12 seed, and the Big 12 will get the 4 seed.
Then we got some smacking going on here by Auden. He says that Clemson beats Boise State and Indiana all day. I don't know about that.
But I remember an Oklahoma team that said the same thing, and TCU, and Arizona, and Oregon. Of course, not so much this year, but.
And we got Grandma Deb on here. She says, go Genty, he's the man. He is. And he's definitely earned the Heisman Trophy. Maybe doesn't have the best PR, that money can buy, but Ashton lets his performance do all the talking,
Speaking of Genty, he's only 340 yards away from tying Barry's record. So if he can manage to break down UNLV and get about 150 to 200 yards, he might have a shot in the playoffs of breaking it. He may have to win one playoff game to get two more games, but he's got a shot. We'll see how it works.
So he needs 170 per game, and that means that we need to win to tie it, or 171 in one
Yeah, and
game to break it.
if we win a playoff game, he only needs 113 yards to tie it. 113 yards per 113.3 yards to tie. So obviously, the more games we win, the better chance he has.
Right.
So
And he's still, with the amount of carries, he's still right there, right around where Barry Sanders was. Even though
yep.
he has a couple more games, he's still right there, about the same amount of carries or less. Right now, I think he's got less than Barry
So
did.
Auden asks is, I hope I'm saying that right. Says Clemson in either way. No, Clemson has to win in order to get in. They're too far out of it. They're at 17 right now. So if they don't win, then they're out. But if they do win, then I don't know if SMU will drop out or not. It'll be fun to watch. That may be if it's a close game, like a 3-point field goal loss. That ACC game could knock Alabama out completely. If it's a 3-point last second loss, I could see them dropping SMU to 11 and Clemson taking that that number 12 spot and Alabama being left out in the open. I could see that happen. It's not likely to happen, but I can see that happening.
What would that do for the Big 12 champ?
It wouldn't do nothing. The champion would still get their spot. So if Clemson wins, they would still get the 12 seed no matter what. I don't think they can jump anywhere to get to the 4th seed if Clemson wins. So that'd move the Big 12 in the Mountain West into the 3-4 spot. Unless UNLV beats Boise State, then Clemson can get that 4th spot because I don't think UNLV will jump Clemson.
We got Grandma Deb on TikTok. She says, Boise State fan since 1965. Way to go.
Oh, nice.
That's a life well lived.
Yeah. So on Saturday, after Boise State has won the Mountain West Conference Championship game, the Esports Rocket League team is playing Washington State at noon Mountain Time. If you want to watch that, that's on their Mountain West Twitch channel. And then the men's basketball, as we talked about a little bit earlier, at 3 Mountain Time on CBS, is playing Washington State at the Idaho Central Arena. And on Sunday, women's basketball is again at home versus San Diego at 2 o'clock Mountain Time on the Mountain West Network, or go out to the X. You got a whole, I'm jealous of you guys that live up in Boise because you got a whole weekend of nothing but Boise State sports. And I would really love to be up there for it.
and if you guys don't make it to the Utah Tech game for the women's basketball team, make sure to make it on Sunday. I mean, that's the conference opener right there against San Diego State. Really hoping that our women can win a regular season championship. They've got a good start going on because I've seen them, in years past, just kind of struggle up, but they're fab freshmen from a couple years ago. They're starting to they're maturing and they're starting to gel together. And like I was saying on Monday, I think that we have some Hall of Famers, some future Hall of Famers that are on the court. You have Natalie Pascoe, Tatum Thompson, Maya Hansen, and Danny Bays. I think that have the potential to all be Hall of Famers. Abby Muse already has that locked up. She's a legend with the blocks and rebounds. So she's an active legend, and I want to see her go out, at least a Mountain West champion. So make sure that make Friday an event. Go to the basketball game, check out the esports, and then go to the football game and watch our Broncos win the back-to-back straps. And then Saturday, after they win, keep the ICCU arena buzzing. That if we win on Friday, let's all hit the hard court downtown Boise and keep that buzz going and give the fellas some encouragement against a good Pac-2 team, Pac-12 team, Washington State. That'll be good for our net and KenPom ratings, getting a victory there. But we got to support them. It's kind of they do call it a neutral site, and allows people from Pullman and stuff to drive down. So let's just have Bronco Nation show up like we are at the football game, but and hopefully it's going to be buzzing after a win on Friday night, and solidifying our chances in the CFP. And then again, if you don't make anything, like make the Sunday game for the ladies at the conference opener against San Diego State.
No, it's San Diego, not San Diego State.
Oh, San Diego. Oh, University.
Yeah.
Okay. So, oops. It's not a conference, but yeah, we have 2 chances to make a women's game, so let's do it.
Yep. Well, Nick, anything else you want to close with?
I'm going to hit it again. I'm going
that blue bottle?
Yeah, I'm going to. Well, before I do that, this is for you, Bronco Nation. Again, I think they just dropped some more tickets. I thought it was sold out, so you may have seen an update come out that showed the tickets were sold out. But right after that was posted, they did release some more seats. So if you don't have a ticket to the Mountain West Conference Championship, go get one. We need everyone out there. We need to be the 12th man. We need to be as loud as we can from whistle to snap when UNLV has it. I want to see that stadium filled to the brim. I want a standing room only, and I want everyone to have to get cough drops the next day. And if you don't get cough drops, go get yourself some boosted oxygen water right there. Look at the icon at the top of the screen. It's great for hydration. After we scream our lungs out all game, you can get super hydrated again with the blue bottle. So if you love the team that plays on the iconic blue, go to Walmart and get the blue bottle, boosted oxygen water, or hit the Walmart app and get you a case of boosted oxygen water. It's great for tailgates, great for watch parties. It's great for recovery after a hard Friday night on Saturday. So Bronco Nation, go to the game, be loud, be proud. Let's break the decimal record, and also support the companies that support the Boise State Broncos, and Boosted Oxygen Water does that. And everybody else on the Serving Bronco Nation directory does too. So go visit them there, support them, because they're doing great and supporting our student athletes at Boise State. So thanks for joining me again, Sam. I know that you put a lot of work into this, and I really appreciate you. And I hope Bronco Nation, you out there, go ahead and follow him on the social platforms, on Facebook, on TikTok. He's co-hosting with me on TikTok Live right now. If you're in the chat, follow Samism on there right now. And if you're on Facebook, go to Sam's profile and follow him there. You'll see his cheer guides and his championship guides regularly, and we're going to keep doing this. So make sure you're following him. He does a great job, puts a lot of work into it.
Shucks.
Yeah. No, I really appreciate it, because I know how it is. I've been grinding for over a decade doing this, and I know how much time and effort it goes into it, and there's no return on it most of the time, right? And so right now, that's why I feel blessed that I get to do this, because the return goes to the Boise State Broncos, and I want to see Boise State start stacking these championships. And I want to do everything that we can with our team, the Blue Elevation team, to invest in the programs and bring ourselves up to those Olympic standards, especially if we're going into the Pac-12. We want to boost up our programs to championship and Olympic levels. So it takes all of us, takes the boosters, but it also takes Bronco Nation representing the games. And if you can break some off, even if it's $1, it all adds up. Everything helps. So that's my mantra. So thanks again, Sam, for joining us. And
thanks for having me.
Yep. And I'll see you at the game, Bronco Nation. And thanks for watching this. Make sure you follow all of our platforms so you don't miss any kind of updates, even though you might see them on different ones. It doesn't matter. Like wherever you're at, we're going to find you and you're going to get your updates. So we're going to keep doing the work. But we'll see you on Friday. And again, just be loud, be the 12th man, leave no doubt so that UNLV can't hear their plays at the game. And also support the women and the men's basketball team as well, and the esports.
I want to see at least 4 false starts, Bronco Nation. That's on you.
Yeah. So until next time, Bronco Nation, bleed blue, go Broncos.
Go Broncos.